Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, I've always maintained that I'm just a retail investor like you, just that I have a YouTube channel and I dare to put out my opinions out there, and it's not financial advice. So today I'm going to take the risk of talking about around 15 or 16 shares, out of which 5 of them are in genomics, and 5 of them are in pharma biotech, and the remaining 6 are in technology. It's my belief that we should invest in businesses that we understand, and these are the areas that I understand. In the last 2 years, I have been doing a lot of videos on genomics, thanks to you guys advising me to focus on CRISPR technology, as a result of which I think at this point of time, I have a very good knowledge of what's happening in the gene therapy field, and I intimately know a few companies, and my focus has always been on CRISPR therapeutics. So overall, I think genomics is an area that I would like to get into more in 2024. The other area I want to talk about is biotech and pharma, because my learnings in genomics spills over to that area, because many big pharma have been collaborating with gene therapy companies, paying milestone payments. Example is Vertex with Casgevy, and there is Pfizer. So there are these companies which have been collaborating with gene companies. So as a result of which I have been studying them, and I started to understand a lot of common things. For example, when we talk about allogenic therapy, we come into the question of marketing and distribution. So allogenic follows the same distribution method as regular pharma drugs, and it can be stored in one place and it can be sold immediately to the patient as compared to autologous. So there are those kind of overlaps that I have been into. So I'm feeling more comfortable with biotech and pharmacy. So I'm going to include 5 companies in that area, which I think I would like to watch for 2024, maybe buy some of them or dollar cost average a few of them if I already have them in my portfolio. And finally, I am from the tech field. I used to be a technology project manager, software project manager. I've been using software. I've been working on software projects. I'm familiar with the software companies. And I would like to believe that I understand cloud and AI to the extent that I need to as an investor. So in the technology space, I'm going to talk about 6 companies because it was very difficult for me to limit myself to 5. And with that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Nobody can predict what's happening in the stock market. The stock market is an aggregate of millions of individuals using different models and different theses and different philosophies, putting their money to buy and sell shares. And the net result is the movement of the indices and the technicals that we see for various shares. So all we can do is look at the trends and assume a status quo so that the trend continues. But status quo rarely remains. The status quo always changes, as a result of which predictions come wrong. Even the best analysts in the Wall Street are known to make mistakes from time to time, and that's but natural. So in that vein, please understand that these 16 companies I'm going to talk about, I'm thinking as a retail investor that these are the ones that suit my profile as a 60-plus individual who is looking at long-term investment with moderate amount of risk. And I'm going to do my portfolio balancing, where I'll have slightly highly risky stocks and very, very stable dividend-paying stocks. So that's the background context in which I'm presenting these. Your situation may vary, so this is not financial advice. So please do your own due diligence. If you like any of the ideas, do your own investigation and research before you invest. That said, I'm going to talk about the first 5 companies that I want to focus on in genomics in 2024. CRISPR Therapeutics is top of the list because it will reap the incremental revenue in 2024 as Casgevy rolls out in the US, UK, and EU. And that is going to be the main driver for my thesis. Apart from that, I am thinking that VCTX, which is for type 1 diabetes, the whole series of type 1 and type 2 diabetes, which is in clinical trial, is going to give some really encouraging data releases in 2024, which is again going to boost CRISPR Therapeutics price. And I also am very enthusiastic about their CAR T therapies. One is the CD19 allogenic CAR T therapy, other is the CD19 BCMA CAR T therapy, both for cancers, and it is fully owned by CRISPR Therapeutics, and there will be some encouraging data or news about them in 2024, which will also be another catalyst in 2024. And I believe that CRISPR is a blue chip pharma company for future. So right now it's developing, and this is the right time to get into it in the ground floor. And this is a long-term investment. So that's my opinion. So that was number one. Second one is Illumina. You might be surprised why I'm talking about Illumina, because I think Illumina is fundamentally a strong company. It's got a great suite of hardware and software for genomic sequencing. It is recovering very fast. Friends, if you look at the price chart, it shows immense strength in the recovery. And it's all recovering because there is a decision made regarding GRAIL. And already a Section 10 filing has taken place in confidence. And the management is talking about selling. The moment in 2024, we receive any news report that a sale has been discussed or finalized or anything of that regard, I think Illumina is going to pick up even further stream. So they are top of the class for in their business. And I think they are going to recover their crown. So there's a long way for it to go up. This is a time when I think it's nice to get into it. I already have 10 shares of Illumina. I would be looking forward to dollar cost averaging at every dip so that I can buy more. And I would go up to 100 shares of Illumina and wait for it for the long term. The next company I have is Editas, which has got licensing revenue from Vertex recently, which is what made me take a second look at Editas. If Vertex has paid Editas, I'm pretty sure that other companies which use CRISPR-Cas9 and come up with a therapy that's going to be monetized, they will end up signing a license with Editas. And also Editas has said that they have got officers working on a round-the-clock basis, approaching companies to sign up for licensing deals. So that's one established way of getting regular income. And I think that Edit 301 displayed really good data for sickle cell disease and TDT. So I'm looking forward to Edit 301 blowing the competition out of the water, or at least giving them a run for their money when it gets approved. So in 2024, we're going to see even more milestones, encouraging bullish milestones or catalysts from Edit 301 for Editas. So that said, Beam Therapeutics is my third choice to watch for. And the CRISPR Therapeutics and Illumina are two shares in which I'm going to dollar cost average. The others I'm just going to observe. If there's a really juicy opportunity sometime, then I might take a dip into it. Otherwise, it's just going to be observing. So Beam has got plenty of cash in the balance sheet as required, and a potentially lucrative deal with Pfizer that could bring them up to $1 billion based on various milestones that have been agreed. The pedigree and common heritage that Beam shares with Prime Medicine and Orbital Therapeutics may yield synergies in future. So that's why I'm looking at Beam. The next company I'm interested in is Caribou Biosciences. Their CB010 has reported positive clinical trial data for allogenic cancer therapy. And I'm a fan of allogenic, and I think it makes really good business case. And their Chardonnay editing technology looks promising and could give them licensing revenue. And on top of it, I think it has got a great management, and they are running a tight ship. They have got costs under control. So it looks very good to me. So those are my top 5 for gene therapies. Now let us go into my top 5 for pharma and biotech. So on the very top, I have got Novo Nordisk because their Ozempic and Wegovy are allowing Novo Nordisk to upgrade their full year sales for 2023 to grow between 32% to 38%. And if this was not reason enough, Novo is on top of the GLP-1 agonist space. GLP-1 is the weight loss ingredient, where Wegovy has now been found to be able to reduce heart attack risk and stroke risk by 20% in high-risk individuals. This was a large study done internationally. So there is going to be more business opening up. It's a multi-billion-dollar area. So I think that's a very, very big catalyst in my mind for Novo Nordisk. And then their collaboration with Moderna can be very rewarding. And their foray into gene therapy as a result of their collaboration with Danish company LifeEdit Therapeutics is also very interesting. They have not yet disclosed what targets they have with LifeEdit Therapeutics, but since 2021, Novo Nordisk has signed collaboration and license deals with 10 companies apart from LifeEdit Therapeutics in the field of gene therapy and advanced medicine. I'll make a separate video on Novo Nordisk later in the new year, but suffice to say, it's my hot new favorite in the pharma field. Next, I'm looking at Pfizer. Post-COVID, the stock has suffered big time, and many people are very bearish about Pfizer. And Pfizer has also scaled down its revenue estimate. However, the long-term picture to me looks very good because the company plans to add 25 billion in new additional revenue by 2030. This in no way takes them anywhere close to where they used to be before. But this company has seen the big times and it knows how to get there and it knows how to stay there. I think it's going to be able to capture its mojo again, to use a colloquial term. And this will also be helped by the acquisition of Seagen. And this is a company that knows how to generate revenue and will surely bounce back. This is my long-term pick. I've already got Pfizer in my portfolio, and I will probably do some dollar cost averaging if it goes down further. Then the next company I have is Johnson & Johnson. I've been very impressed with how they have been developing their business, and it's a strong company. I'm going to look very closely at Johnson & Johnson in 2023. Probably I might even do a video to understand their business. I think it has got great potential and it could be a very good long-term hold. The next company I'm looking for is Vertex. Apart from their strong foundation in cystic fibrosis treatment as well as pain management, its success in sickle cell disease with Casgevy and potential dominance in regenerative medicine for diabetes puts Vertex firmly as a company to invest in long time. The diabetes area is a huge area and it's a big revenue earner, especially for once and done therapies which do not currently exist. So that's why I would look at Vertex. Next company I have in my radar for 2024 is Gilead Sciences. Gilead's leadership in HIV is absolutely stunning. And recently the company's management increased the 2023 revenue guidance from a range of 26.3 billion to 26.7 billion and taken it upwards to 26.7 billion to 26.9 billion. So they have gone up 0.2 billion extra. So that's one positive. And this has been basically due to increased demand for their therapies of Yescarta, Biktarvy, and Trodelvy. Apart from this, they have also successfully treated a range of cancers such as non-small cell lung cancer and breast cancer. So in the oncology area also, they have got some strengths. So overall, this company looks very good. And now you may say, Raj, there are some negatives. Of course, there are negatives with Gilead. One of the negatives is that there is always a pressure on Gilead to give away patent for poorer countries so that AIDS therapies can be distributed in a subsidized manner. That is definitely there. The other risk for Gilead is that if Excision and AGT come up with a once and done functional or sterilizing cure for HIV, then they may lose a lot of market. But I would counter that by saying that the kind of treatment that Excision and American Gene Technology would come up with would be a once and done treatment. It will be as expensive as the sickle cell disease treatment, and not everybody can afford it. And therefore, ART will continue to remain for a longer period of time. And at least for the next 2 years, Gilead doesn't have to worry about any of these once and done therapies for HIV, because I think the horizon of time by when HIV once and done therapies might come is somewhere around 2026 to 2027, like late 2026 to late 2027. It's in that range. So I don't think Gilead will suffer any time soon because of any of these things. So Gilead is my last choice in the pharma and biotech area. Now let's go on to the tech side. And you guys already know my preference for the Magnificent Seven. FNGU is an ETF that I always use, but in my 6 tech stocks, I'm going to talk about individual stocks. First, on the top of it is NVDA. If I'm not able to afford NVIDIA, I would look at AMD also, because AMD is also picking up very rapidly. And in any field of microprocessors, there are always competitors, and NVIDIA needs a really viable competitor, and the industry also needs a competitor so that prices can be in the check. So AMD has a great scope. NVIDIA has already reached heights. It becomes a little bit risky with the multiples, but NVIDIA has got even more scope for going up. So the reason why I say that is because AI is the future, and NVIDIA is the guy who's making the shovels, and AI is like snow. So all big tech companies are getting into AI, and they're all going to need NVIDIA chips. Second thing is that the US government has allowed NVIDIA to sell speed reduced or dampened AI chips to China. And as a result of which the market opens up again, and that's going to add to the revenue of NVIDIA. So those are some of the reasons why I'm very bullish on NVIDIA. Microsoft, disclosure, NVIDIA, I had NVIDIA, I made great profit and I sold the shares. And since then I have not been able to enter into it because it has become too expensive. So I'm going to wait and see if I get a chance. I'll definitely pick up some NVIDIA, but on the Canadian side. Then my next choice in technology is Microsoft, cloud, AI, and also they have very nicely integrated AI as a co-pilot in Office, and also I think their ChatGPT collaboration is going to give them a little bit of a leg up on the search business because Google is still struggling to catch up. So I think that makes Microsoft very attractive. So AI, cloud, and office automation, where they have got subscribers hooked up. So for example, you buy a subscription of Microsoft, you can use it on 5 computers. They could always increase the subscription fee marginally, and that increases their revenue, or they could reduce the number of PCs that can be used under one license from 5 to 4. All those kind of things give a lot of leverage to Microsoft to increase their revenue in case they have a shortfall somewhere. So I like the model of business model of Microsoft. So that's there in my list. Then Apple, fantastic company, great following. Whenever Apple releases a product, there's a lineup outside the Apple stores worldwide. So I think Apple has got a long way to go because they have not yet come strongly into AI. The moment they jump into AI, they can find a lot of use cases to improve their products as well as their operation, and the stock multiples will go up further. So Apple is, again, one of my choice, and Meta is the last one. Sorry, not the last one. The second last one is Meta, because AI can boost the value for Meta, and it has been a laggard in the Mag 7 and may catch up as interest rate cuts come into place. Threads is also getting acceptance, while X is slowly disintegrating or decomposing, or whatever you may call it. So it's just a matter of time before Meta becomes the kind of unofficial king of the social media sector. And then I have the next pick, which is Google. Again, cloud, AI, and their search engine domination, and they have the YouTube assets and all those things put together. Google looks very good, and they are working very hard to catch up on the AI side. So I think this company knows how to succeed, and they will definitely be doing great going forward. And then finally, I would like to talk about Amazon, because Amazon is amazing. They are great in the retail space with the online sales. And on top of that, they have got cloud revenues, which are increasing. That's very, very interesting. And they are also into AI. So overall, I think Amazon is looking great. They have also been dabbling with robotics. And if they marry robotics to AI, I think they are going to look at great synergies. And there'll be a lot of use cases within Amazon for them to deploy AI and increase the customer experience as well as increase their margins. So that said, I think that kind of tops up my vision for 2024. And friends, let me remind you once again, I'm just a retail investor. I don't have advanced database, and I don't have a bunch of analysts who are going to do the stuff for me and come back to me so that I can look at all the sectors. So these 15 companies are within my range of vision and within my range of expertise. There are thousands of companies on Wall Street, and many of them may be even better than these. So I'm not saying that these are going to do gangbusters in 2024. I'm saying that from my point of view, for my risk profile and for my portfolio, these are very attractive. Some of them I already own, like Google. I own Google, I own Amazon stocks, and I also have other companies which I have not talked about here. 2 of them are Walmart and Costco. I had Costco and I sold it at a profit, and I still have Walmart. Those are 2 areas where I don't know the business very well, but as a customer, I know what they do. I know that they are required in the society, and there will be continuing business, because my simple idea is that you look at Maslow's theory of hierarchy. You have food, clothing, and shelter as a very basic requirement for everybody. That is a primal need. And if you look at food, clothing, and shelter as not the haute couture or what you call as gourmet. Those are all luxurious. I'm talking about basic. When you look at clothing, basic jeans, basic t-shirt. When you look at food, vegetables, fruits, eggs, the staples. I'm not talking about fantastic things, just basic things. And when you look at housing, I'm talking about basic housing. I'm not looking at luxury bungalows and all those kind of things. Just basic housing like rental housing and those kind of things. I think those are the things which are going to be resilient in the economy, and they will always find value. So from that perspective, I picked up Walmart, and I'm not including that here because that's a separate category. So friends, this is what I have got here, and I would like to hear from you. What do you think of my 16 picks? Please put your own thought in the comments. It can help me to adjust my thoughts even more. Do any of you have any of these in your list for 2024, or do you already have them in your portfolio, and what do you feel about it? Put it all here in the comments. All of us can get the benefit of it. And if possible, put your target companies for 2024, your own list of top 5 or top 10 or top 15, whatever you may have for 2024. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.